Sil's National Football Show. Appreciate you coming aboard. Thank you very much. Two quarterbacks that could be on the move this coming offseason, Dak Prescott and Kyler Murray. Right? Kyler Murray. Dak Prescott. Arizona right now is basically telling their entire fan base and the players in the locker room, and most importantly, the players in the locker room, everything you did in camp was for nothing. They're dumping players. They're dumping everything they can because they want the number one overall pick. And that's putting and going to put pressure on Kyler Murray. If I'm Kyler Murray and you're doing all this, what would propel me to get on the field with that shitbox talent that you're putting out there? Why? I'm starting to believe that Kyler Murray is not wrong. I don't think he's the most mature guy on the planet. I don't think that he's the best leader. But how can you win with the Bidwells running that thing? Do you really think right now Arizona's trying to win, or do you think they're trying to win next April? What's more important to them, April or February? You went to training camp and you were an Arizona Cardinal. You found out today, as they're trying to move Budda Baker and some of these other guys, they move Hop in the offseason. You're not trying to win. You're not trying to win. You're looking at next April as a win, where you potentially get the number 1 and number 2 first-round pick to rebuild your team and trade Murray and maybe get a 1 for him. Dude, man, makes no sense. You went through the whole notion so you could sell tickets? Man, what an awful environment if you're an Arizona Cardinal fan. They have no intention every single year to win. There's an organization you can circle every year to F up everything. I mean it. You know how the Eagles and Jeffrey Lurie tries every year to win? The Bidwells don't. Because, again, it's financially not worth it to them to spend money. I told you this before. Whether you're 17-0 or you're 0-17, you make the same money. NFL, it's profit sharing. The NFL shares the money. You may make different money when it comes to your fan base. I think the Cowboys and the Raiders have a different merchandising deal. But most of it is all shared. The NFL network is owned by all 32 owners. They all share in that. They share in the advertising. They share in the advertising dollar during the Super Bowl. All of that. The Bidwells don't give a shit. This is why the Bengals are in a funny position. Because usually Mike Brown doesn't give a shit, but now he's got a quarterback he's got to do something with. See, Mike Brown really wants to win to a point. And that's what I would say 60% of the owners in the NFL, they want to win, but they want to win to a point. They're not going to go over that. Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys, he wants to win his way. He's got a different vision of winning. Bob Kraft and Jeffrey Lurie see a Lombardi trophy as a win. Jerry looks at TV ratings and net worth of his team. That's his Lombardi. Michael Bidwell, owner of the Cardinals, he wants to win to a point. You know, John Angelos, the owner of the Orioles. That's a prime example. I want to win to a point. I want to win to a point. Then he goes out and tells his fan base, hey, thanks for supporting us. You know, all the guys we have now, I got to raise ticket prices because I don't want to pay. I want you to. I'm sorry. Great message. And fans already know that. Nobody likes to be told this in Philadelphia. Eagles are raising ticket prices. And you know in the back of your mind why. Got to pay for Hurts. You know that. You know that. At least the owner doesn't come out and go like this. Hey, listen, man, you guys got to pay for Dak Prescott, or you got to pay for Jalen Hurts' contract. Okay? You got to pay for it, because I'm not. That's why we're raising ticket prices. Even though the salary cap goes up, at least he doesn't come out and say that. Angelos with the Orioles is going, hey, the guys we have on our team, you're going to have to fit the bill. We're going to have to raise ticket prices 200% in the offseason here. Classic. Unbelievable. Hey, some of these guys, man, I mean, they got like a disorder where they just can't, like, dude, got to have bedside manner here when you're talking about your consumers and people that come into your building. Like the guy Josh Harris has no common sense. We have a process. No, you don't, dude. You have a process of punching season tickets out, raising season ticket prices, having one star in the building, 2 lunatics, and being bounced in the opening round. That's your process. But that's a winning process. Why? Because people like Tone and everyone fill the Wells Fargo Center. That's a win. I hate to be that guy. Okay? I hate to be that guy. Ben says Philly will always pay. Yeah, because you know what? The greatest fan base on the planet are the ones with the greatest backbone and desire and pride. You don't really believe the Buffalo Bills were ever going to move out of Buffalo, do you, to Toronto? The NFL would find an owner to keep that bitch there. Trump was never going to get his hands on that team. Never. Bills Mafia? Shit. They're going to build him a palace. It's a spectacular fan base. The Eagle fan base is so needed in the NFL, though. You can light a fire under them by just mentioning Dallas Cowboys. All you have to do to light a fire is do this. Boy, the Dallas Cowboys look awful good this year. Man, they did so much in the offseason. Man, you see the press coverage they're getting. Isn't it great? The number one brand in the NFL, man. Isn't it great seeing that star helmet? Am I making you throw up yet? She'll stop, I'm hey, Sills, please stop. Okay. Look at Sway. Sway's like, Sway, I know. Hey, 29 goes, Sills, that's enough. Hey, dude, you know what you guys, I'm not kidding you. When Stephen Jones sent me that helmet, remember I had the helmet up here? And Xander goes like this. Even Xander went like this. It says you got to get that. That thing's got to go, Sills. That thing's got to go. Get that thing out of here, man. That thing's got to go, dude. I swear to God, I moved it out of the building because you know why? There was some sort of like juju going. Sills, be honest, when was the last time Miami football was relevant? Hey, Niners, shut up. Yeah. Hey, Niners, shut up. All right, let's get into this. Niners, shut up. Okay? What? Hey, Niner. The NFL has salary caps and teams have to spend 95 to 100% of the cap. Really? Then why did the Bears have $90 million this last offseason? They haven't spent all that money, Paul. There's no floor. That's the NHL. There's no floor. What are you talking about? The Bears had $93 million in cap space this past offseason. What are you talking about? Anyway, let's do this. How many people believe, as you set the roster tomorrow, that you think that the Philadelphia Eagles are a better team? I'll take that back. We don't know what kind of team yet. Do you think you have a better roster heading into the 2023 season than you did a year ago? Seals, did you see Jerry say that we're looking to draft Jalen? Ray, you don't believe that, do you? I got some land down in the Keys. It's over near Alligator Alley. Hey, you know, it's on pogo sticks. It's a little swampy. It's in the glades, kind of. It's really good, solid land, though. Okay? Really good, solid land. Ray, you ain't believing that, are you? Younger roster, yes. We have a better roster, says Mateo. What up, Joshua? Let's take a look at that. 2022 roster versus the 2023 roster. Okay? Quarterback. I think he got a better quarterback in 2023 than he did in 22. Don't you? Let's start with the quarterback. You think you got a better quarterback in 23 than you do heading into 2022? Right? Nobody saw MVP season. Okay? That's not the question, B-Walk. Do you think you have a better quarterback heading into the 2023 season? I think you do. Favors the 23 team. This next one's going to be interesting. You got a better running back in 2022 or heading into the 2023 season with DeAndre Swift? Last year was Miles Sanders. 1,200 yards and 11 touchdowns. Are you better at running back? Are you better at running back? Last year, Sanders. This year, Swift. Running back by committee? I think this is a hard one to talk about. I think it's going to be different. Okay? I think it's different. I think they're redefining the position. I wouldn't say better. I would say more equitable to what they – right, Tone. I think they're redefining the position to help Hurts. They don't want an I-back guy like him. They want a versatile guy. See, to me, I think they look at it this way. You know, if that running back committee could give us 40 catches and 500 to 600 yards total with all of them, I think that's how they look at that as being a win. So I think they've redefined it. And which means they've improved the offensive play calling and situational play calling, in my opinion. I think they want more of a pass receiver at that position than a ball carrier. Puts a lot more pressure on Jalen Hurts, though. You guys think that Penny or these other guys, Gainwell, are going to carry the load. Those guys don't frighten a coordinator. If I see Kenneth Gainwell back there, he does nothing for me. If I'm a defensive coordinator and I'm Bill Belichick and I see Kenneth Gainwell, you think he scares me? I'm going to blow that guy up. Now, if I see Jalen Hurts, I'm 3rd and 7. That frightens me. I keep telling you, one of the best, there were 2 plays in that offense last year that were almost a given. You know what they were? The 4th and 1 and Hurts on 3rd and long. I can't tell you how many times I'm watching the game and I went like this. This guy's picking this up. I'm telling you, he's picking this shit up. He's picking, man, I thought Jalen at 3rd and long, running the ball, was the most effective open field runner, running back, quarterback in the league. He always got that damn first down, man. And there were very few times that he was in 3rd and long. They did a great job a year ago winning 1st and 2nd down. Dan's never seen Gainwell play. Well, let me ask you something, Callie Green. If he was so great, why didn't he have 225 carries last year? I don't know how people don't understand. Don't you get it? When you know you're not re-signing a guy, you transition him out of the huddle, not more carries and more workload. If they truly believed that, Gainwell would have had a ton of carries, and they would have been transitioning Sanders out of the offense. Instead, they leaned on him more. That's not how that works. If everyone a year ago thought Nakobe Dean was so good, he would have taken Kaiser White's job. You're looking to get younger and cheaper. Always. Younger and cheaper. Younger and cheaper. Stay there with me. Did you see the super... Oh, God. Kenneth Gainwell's a dude. He's a dude. So what I'm going to go here is this. I think for what you want to do in 23, I think it's an upgrade. And I think you're better at running back with Swift. I think this offense is going to be electric. Are you better with A.J. Brown 22 or A.J. Brown 23? Let me tell you why you're better this year. If you're a D coordinator, you saw what he did last year, and you watched him play, boy, I'll tell you what. Last year, him coming over from Tennessee, remember something, he had marginal numbers at Tennessee. There was nothing spectacular about him at Tennessee because he was in an offense that didn't know how to utilize him. 65 catches, 62 catches, 900 yards, 1,100 yards. They never used him right. That was the rub, because when he got to a place that knew how to use him, he put up those numbers. A.J. Brown had no right being in that Tennessee offense. They were pedestrian numbers. Now you watch A.J. Brown play, you're like, that's a dominant DK. I think he's better than Metcalf. I think he's better than the guy in Seattle. Okay? I think he's better. And now I got a game plan. Dude, that guy you game plan. And this is what you tell your secondary, especially your safeties. You got to get this guy down on the ground because he'll carry you a few yards. So you're better. Devontae Smith versus Devontae Smith 2022. He might be your most complete receiver. Okay? Swift is going to help him so much. 65 catches and 1,100 yards is not awesome. Hunter Renfrow does that. Those are number 2 numbers. It's great. You think 65 catches is good. Do you understand what 1,100 yards is for a 17-game season? It's like 59 yards a game. And like 4 catches. You think 4 catches and 59 yards a game is good or bad? I wouldn't put that in the elite arena. I think you're better with Devontae this year. Look at this. You're winning this thing. Dallas Goedert versus last year's Dallas Goedert. I think you're pretty standard there. Okay. I got to see Goddard play a full season. Mulata, you're better this year. More experience. Dickerson, you're better. Kelsey. Now, here's one. You think you're better with Kelsey this year than you were a year ago? I don't. 37 years old, 36 years old. I don't know. You're getting up near the time where Father Time knocks on the door and says, bring your playbook. Okay? I think Kelsey, again, I'm going to leave that incomplete because I think 36. Are you better at right guard? One of the position changes with Cam Jurgens and Isaac Seumalo. Let's not forget something about Isaac Seumalo last year. He was in a small battle last year with Andre Dillard. Wasn't he at that right guard spot? And he immediately won that in the first couple weeks of training camp. So there was a little bit of, I wouldn't say a battle, but I would say, then he went on to have an all-pro type season, Pro Bowl season. Okay? Guy playing out of position, it's a downgrade till proven otherwise. Lane is Lane. So really, the only question marks I have on the offense are, is Father Time going to catch Kelsey? Cam Jurgens, the right guard. Other than that, I think you're a better offense this year than you were a year ago going into the 2023 season. More experience, another year in under the belt for Hurts. His decision-making is probably going to be better. Coordinator's not going to be an issue because he is the coordinator. I would say this, that your offense right now is better than it was in 2022. You've got a better unit than what you had last year. That speaks volumes. Okay? Now, to be candid, all your money's on that side of the ball. That's okay. Let's go defense. 2022, Brandon Graham. 2023 heading into the season. You think you're going to get a better Brandon Graham this year than you had last year? I don't. I don't. Big Sills with Swift in the backfield instead of Sanders. Does that help from defenses keying more on Hurts because he's going to? Yes, ace. That's why they're kind of redefining that position. They'd rather have a pass catcher back there than an eye back. Okay? Here we go with the Dean. No, it's the question. I'm going to let you answer it first. It's not Dean. The question was, when we started this exercise, do you think you have a better roster starting the last year's season or this year's season? You can call it hate all you want, guy. I'm asking a simple question. If you don't want to answer it, fine. Javon Hargrave, Jalen Carter. Did you have a better left defensive tackle last year heading in? Or do you have a better one going in this year? He had a better defensive tackle last year. If it's unknown, how can you win it? If it's unknown, how could you be going into it thinking you have a better one? You're hoping? You knew Hargrave made 12.9 last year and overplayed his salary last year even. Fletcher, he's so good. Maybe I should have completed the sentence. Today is unknown before Hargrave is better. I would say this to you, too, about Fletcher. You know, man, I was so against the $10 million. Boy, I'll tell you, man, he's a good football player. He's worth every cent of that. I like the fact that I have Fletcher Cox in my right defensive tackle position. I feel good going into that New England game with him there. He makes me feel comfortable. If I was the coordinator, he makes me feel comfortable. One of my front four. And I'm going to get the best out of him in that week one. So I'm good, man. I'm good with him. Josh Sweat, man, he just continues to improve. Continues to improve. I'm going to say this to you. I think you guys are going to be shocked with this. Tone, maybe this goes to what you just said. Sills, Kaiser White versus Zach Cunningham. I can't look at what Kaiser did at the end of that season. I asked you a question. Do you think you have as good a roster heading into the 22 year versus heading into the 2023 season? I didn't know Kaiser White would put up 117 tackles. Okay? So it would be unfair for me to know the outcome of Kaiser White's season and go, White's a better player than Cunningham. I don't know if he is. I think that's a good pickup. I think that's been a good sign by them. So, I mean, for me to sit here, I have to be fair to the process that I'm asking you to be fair to, right? Is Zach Cunningham, do I have the same kind of confidence in Zach Cunningham heading into 2023 that I did with Kaiser White? Yeah, I did. So it's kind of a push. I would say, you know what I mean? I feel the same. Okay? I mean, I had no idea White would put up 117 tackles. Ray says lateral move. Ray, that'd be great if it's a lateral move. Okay? TJ Edwards, Nakobe Dean, absolutely had a better Mike linebacker last year. Well, teams didn't game plan Reddick last year. They will this year. They'll roll away from him. He's not going to have the same sack number. They're going to put a tight end over there. They're going to roll away from him. They're going to game plan him. I would. I don't want that guy running into my quarterback. So what do? You game plan him. You put a tight end on him, or you put a fullback, or you have somebody slam into him. You run counter trays at him. You run at him too. Wherever Hassan Reddick is lined up, especially with a bum hand, I'm going to run the ball right at him. I'm going to wear him out. I'm going to run him, run at him, run at him, run at him, put big bodies on him, put a tackle and a tight end on him. I'm going to wear that guy out. He's going to get targeted. Okay? He's going to get targeted. You're going to game plan him. I'm not rolling. Why in the world would I roll to him? You roll away from him. This is what you do not to get your quarterback slammed. You roll the quarterback away and you run the ball too. You run at him and you roll away from him. Common sense. Everyone knows what they're doing when they do this. Okay? He tried to wear his ass out. Bradbury will be better. Now, here's my problem back there in that secondary. How much is Patricia and Desai? Can I tell you what the problem could be coaching wise? I wanted to get to the coaching a little bit later. What are they going to ask these two corners to play more press coverage? They're not press cover guys. They couldn't do it in New York and they couldn't do it in Detroit. And they couldn't do it in the Super Bowl against limited wideouts. They weren't press cover guys. Are they going to ask him to do that more? Why would you ask these two guys to do something that's not their strength? They're center fielders. And they had a great year a year ago playing center field. So how much are you going to gamble that way by putting a man up on them? I mean, again, that's not the strength. That's one of the reasons why they got rid of him in Detroit. And that's one of the reasons they got rid of Bradbury, because of the money he wanted in New York. These are not press cover guys. Now, is Desai and Patricia going to put those guys in positions like that with a questionable secondary, especially in your safety positions? I hope not, because I like what they did a year ago. I love the way Bradbury's mentality is. And now they're talking to him in the slot now. Do you know why I like the way he plays? He's like this. Look, the quarterback that I'm playing against, he's going to throw the ball 35 times. And he's probably going to throw in my direction 10. I'll give up 3 10-yard plays. No problem. But I ain't giving up that plus 25. Keep everything in front of me. Keep them out of the end zone. See, the Eagle defense looks at it like this. Dude, I don't give a shit what the statistics are. I care about scoring defense. You win and lose by having the best scoring defense, not by whether you're great against the run, the pass. It's scoring defense. Keeping folks out of the end zone. That's where you win ball games. How many times have you seen really good teams against the run? They're suspect. They give up a ton of points. Well, shit, man. The end game is to score more points than the other guy. Scoring defense is where it is. That's right, Maniac. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Again, I get people want to put their own twist on shit. I'm with that. Okay? I'm with that. I think Darius Slay's a lesser player this year. I think he heads into this season a lesser player. I think he's a better player a year ago. I'm sorry, I don't believe in him. I think that guy is at the beginning stages of having – I'll be shocked if he's still starting midway season. He'll either be hurt, he'll take himself out because he doesn't want to look bad on tape, or they'll bench him. I thought he was terrible at the end of the year. He was atrocious in the Super Bowl. So I think this guy's running out of gas. He's 32. He did not look good the last month and a half and in the Super Bowl. You can make lies up all you want and paint that picture any way you want. Okay? But you can lie you can lie to yourselves. But I'm not going to lie to you. Okay? You can say he's this and, well, get this. Okay. Quan goes, it's a shit take. He saw a different guy. He saw a different guy. So Quan says he played well at the end of the year. I say he didn't. What do you guys say? What do you think? You think Slay was really good the last month and a half of the year, including the Super Bowl? Dank saw a different guy too. Dank and Quan. Okay. So you guys saw a better player. Okay? You saw Juju Smith-Schuster and nobody's on the Kansas City Chiefs running circles around them guys. Those guys were so bad, they were running into each other. Boy, you guys watched a different Super Bowl than I did. And that Cowboy game where Dak threw for 5 touchdowns, you saw a completely different football game than I did. The guy threw for 450 yards in that game and 5 touchdowns. I must have missed it. That's not what I saw. Your safety positions. I've come around on Terrell Edmonds. Okay? I've come around on him. I don't think he's going to be bad. Okay? I don't. Okay? I don't think he's going to be bad. I don't know he's the athlete that Gardner Johnson is, but I'm looking for a good football player back there. Okay? That's a pretty good take, Darcy. Fred Warner got exposed. Jalen kept that ball, didn't he? And made Fred Warner look slow, didn't he? It was a pretty good trick by Jalen, keeping Fred Warner from pursuit and keeping him intact there like that, the way he did. Pretty smart. I agree with you. That Jalen did that to him. Jalen kept him in there. That was pretty good. Reed Blankenship, I know Tone likes him a lot, and he's had a really good camp. Okay. Sidney Brown, not ready to play yet, in my opinion. So I would say this to you. Last year you had Epps. Wait a minute. Terrell Edmonds or Epps? Epps? Now, to be fair, did we think Epps would have a 91 tackle season heading into 2022? No, I didn't. So you got to be fair about it. I liked Epps a lot, but did I think he'd put in the season that he did? No, I didn't. So I got to be fair to Edmonds. Okay, I did not think Marcus Epps would put in a season like he did. And I don't think anybody did. Gardner Johnson, you know, man, you go back and you look at that Gardner Johnson tape, I can tell you this. And I don't know, Tone, if you agree with me, but, man, if you go back and let's just put a number out there, I would say in every game he played last year, Gardner Johnson, at least 25% of the time he was out of position. And because there were so many good people around him and they were getting home so much with the sacks that, you know, it covered kind of in a way. And plus the shitty quarterbacks they took on, they weren't really threatened last year by anybody until they got to the Super Bowl. Nobody really threatened them back there. Well, Golf did. Golf threatened them a bit. So overall, do you have a better team this year than you did a year ago? Your offense is by far better than last year's. Your defense last year was better. What's that going to lead to? You're not a balanced team like you were a year ago. Last year, you had a really good offense and a really good defense. This year, you have a really good offense and a really inexperienced defense. So do you have a better roster heading into 2023? Yes or no? You were balanced last year. You're not this year. Heading into it, the results could change by the end of the year by their play, of course. But right now, there's way more question marks. Okay? We're not going to find out in 2 weeks. We're going to find out in about 2 months. One game is not going to dictate whether or not this football team defensively is going to make stops this year that they need to. 2 weeks is not going to answer that question. The first 8 games of the season will answer that question. Okay? This is going to be about trends. This is going to be about watching player development. This is going to be about watching whether or not. See, my issue on defense will be who's covering tight ends, who's covering backs out of the backfield, and if you can stop the run. On offense, it's staying healthy. And do you have enough depth? That's the key to this. In 2-5, week 6 to 8 says it all. Yeah, probably around in there. That's a good. I'm with you there. And 26 goes the offense will need to carry. That's why 26 long extended drives. If I'm the Eagles, I'm not throwing the ball a ton in the opening 4 games of the year. I want a methodical offense like last year. Big plays, 10-play drives, 11-play drives. Keep your defense off the field and keep your defense on the other side of the field to give them a chance to come along. Look, if they give up yards against the run, let's do this. Right, Tone? Everyone? If they give up big gashing plays with yards in the running game, let it be on the opponent's 20 coming out. Don't give up half fields because the offense has 3 and outs. And you give the ball up. Say the offense has a 3 and out. You punt the ball on your 30. Your shitty punter puts the ball on the 35 of the other team. And you give up 2 10-play runs against your run defense. You're at 50-yard line already. That's not going to be a remedy to win ball games. So you're going to want to make sure that you go on extended drives a bit, even if you don't score. Like in the New England game, even if you don't score, make sure you're punting the ball and you're keeping them pinned with the goalposts, and you see the shadow of the goalpost still in your back. If you're the Patriots, you want to keep that goalpost as close to their offense when they start series as much as you possibly can, because you're going to give yards up and you're going to give a few big plays up. Make sure that's on their side of the 50. And that's how you bring a defense along. I have faith in the offense. I agree. I think it's going to be impossible. But hey, I don't think if you come out and you get a couple drops and you start doing high percentage play. Last year, the Eagles didn't do a ton of high percentage plays. Why? Jalen Hurts only threw the ball 450 times. I mean, every other quarterback in this league throws the ball 600 times. Not 450. 450 is like 1990 and 80s numbers. They were balanced. You know how many teams in the NFL are not balanced? Buffalo's not balanced. Kansas City's not balanced. Good teams. Good teams. I want to hit on something else, coaches. I want to do that next. Please hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.